Alright. So when I first came to YouTube, I wanted to do League of Legends content, but now I'm pretty unsure if I want to just do League of Legends content because I mean, there's so many other good games you can play, and it's kind of sad seeing that I'm only stuck with League of Legends if I do content. I mean, I don't know really what other people wants to watch. There are other games like Warzone and or Overwatch. That's pretty. I mean, that works, but I really want to do something I want to do. The only thing I think is fun right now is playing Singed and trolling people and making their lives miserable. Because the only reason I like this game is because of Singed. This is a guide for people who wants to learn Singed. Because I can say that I'm pretty experienced with this character because I have 500,000 mastery points on Singed, and I can say that I'm at least qualified of giving someone a guide. I'm not really great at the game. If you talk about like ranked, I'm only like my highest was like gold 2, gold 1, almost peaked platinum almost. But you're here for the guide of the character. The rest is up to you if you can like get up in higher elo and shit. Because I'm confident enough to say that I have played against almost every type of player against when I'm playing Singed. The build has been changing because of the items been changing, but I think the only core items Singed needs are Leandra's Torment and Demonic Embrace. I think that's what it's called. So if I just were to give you the actual items that Singed would use, I would say at the start you want to buy your usual buys with Singed, and that is a Dark Seal, a Corruption Potion, which is what you buy with the Dark Seal, and now we have a new option. Now we have a Doran's Ring. That was not there before. I mean, it's been an option for a while now, but this is your go-to. You can also use normal potions, which are, fine. But usually you would like to go Corruption Potion. You can buy a first buy if you want, and that's just for sustain. If you really want to like get your items fast, you rush this item and you push the wave as much as you possibly can. You can even proxy it, it's fine. But most likely you want to push the wave, get those 3 waves, go back and get your Dark Seal. If you can get more minions, you like to use that. You don't care too much because the Corruption Potion gives you enough sustain, and Singe has, well, quite a high, you can say relatively high regen, so you can sustain a long time. The Dark Seal, we all know what the Dark Seal does. Every time you get an assist or a kill, you get 15 plus. Oh no, excuse me, it's 5 ability power per stack. So that's 10 times 5. On top of that, it already gives you 15 ability power and 40 health. So it gives you that. It doesn't give you more healing anymore. I don't think so. It used to heal you a lot more, but now it doesn't. Usually go Dark Seal and then refillable potion and then just go. That's doable. But if you want to like be a little bit more aggressive in lane instead of actually proxying, you can go with the Corruption Potion because you're actually laning. So you'll probably get poked out or something. Now you can also, this is a new one, you can also buy a Sapphire Crystal, which is like a really good fucking option if you're confident enough you won't die. Because what it builds up to is Leandra's Torment, which is the best item you can buy on Singed right now, which is like good against pretty much any matchup for what I've known. It builds up to the Leandris, and from Leandris you can go whatever the fuck you want. You can either go Ryla's Crystal, which is a really good option if you think they're gonna catch up to you or something like that. That's a really good option in my opinion. You buy this and then this. The only problem with this is that you don't get health. So if you want to get more health, I guess you can like buy a Ryla's Crystal. That works just fine. But if you feel like, okay, but I want to go full damage instead of a little bit more tankiness, I would recommend you going Demonic Embrace, which is a really, really powerful item with the Leandris Anguish. It just does so well together. It's just such a perfect item. And these, like, when you have these 3 items, that's it. You are complete. That's your most powerful build. Of course, you can, switch them out if you want to buy, uh, for example, Leandris and Deadman's Play. You can do that. That's fine. You can also go for, if they have a lot of crit, I think you can go with Randion's Omen. That's a really good one. If you want defense, I can actually put it here. So that's it. And then you have the defense part, and you can have pretty much whatever the fuck you want. Deadman's Plate is a good option, but you don't usually really want to buy that anymore, because you can either go like a Predator, which makes you faster anyway. You can go Ghost with Predator, which makes you really fast, plus your ultimate that gives you a little bit additional movement speed, I think. You're gonna be fast, pretty much. You're gonna kite pretty easily because you're very fast. These are very good defensive items. I recommend you having one defensive item at least, but if you're ahead, you can always go damage item. Always when you're playing Singed, get this in your head. When you're ahead with Singed, you have no use for tank items unless it benefits you in speed, that's why I put Deadman Plate, but it's still a very expensive item. But the thing is, you don't really need to buy armor item with Singed, because his ultimate already gives you a pretty decent amount of armor. Even though you get melted, you're still doing enough damage that you do damage to the entire team. And you have your team to back you up on that, so if things go south, you're still doing damage. If you die, you still do damage. That's why some Singed players, when they die, it doesn't really matter. Even though this is a pretty fairly expensive items, you proxy and you double proxy for that core reason. These are 2 pretty good defensive items. But if you really want to go defensive and you feel like the people you face against are really healing, for example, like a Mundo, it's pretty difficult playing Singed against a Mundo, because Mundo can just, like, he's not gonna take damage from the poison either way, and he's gonna heal pretty a lot, even though you have a anti-healing item. You can buy 2 options here. You can either go anti-healing on AP or anti-healing on armor. I recommend you AP because you do more damage and reduce the healing on Mundo. But if you want to go more like a team, if you're more of a team person, you can go Thornmail, which is not a bad buy. If you don't have to buy the entire thing, but it gives you health and a decent amount of armor, so you can sustain yourself a little bit longer in lane and in team fights. And on top of that, they take damage, so it's really good. It gives the enemy Gravenous Wounds, so we all know what Gravenous Wounds does. It just reduces healing by 40%, especially because you're gonna be in the front lines with Singed. You're gonna be the one who goes in, even if you die, if you flip like the ADC or something, that's pretty valuable. He's just a perfect character in team fights. He's the best, in my opinion. Another option, I recommend this item if you're ahead. An Oblivion Orb. You don't have to buy the full item for the Oblivion Orb, which is the Morellicon. You don't have to do that. But if you're ahead, I recommend you buying it if they have a lot of healing. So let's say they have a Soraka, Senna, or something like a Yumi. Just perfect option against them. This item is amazing, truly. In fact, it's easier to spread out the anti-heal because you're Singed in the poison damage. It can poison anyone. Now, this is what people have trouble with when playing Singed. Old school Singed, we always bought Swifties. Swifties are really fucking good if you want to buy like boots really quickly in the game and you don't want to get reducing slows and shit. I recommend this item for like Mundo and people that gives you slows. It is really good. We always used to buy this item, either this item or Mercury Treads. But here's the thing, now speed is not like that as hard to get. The runes had changed and everything, so when the new runes and everything came out, like, no, you stopped buying Swifties and Mercury treads. You're buying a lot more Ninja Tabbies, and nowadays we buy a lot more boots basically, which like helps you in laning things. You can buy whatever the fuck you want. You just the trick with this is looking at their team and knowing which type of boots you want to buy. You're not only thinking about your own lane, you're thinking about every other lane, because your strongest ability on Singed is team fighting. That's where you shine, and your ultimate is helping you with that and shit. So you need to have the right boots so you don't get shut down as easily as you were to buy other boots. For example, let's say if you have a lot of CC, you usually buy Mercury treads. That little tenacity can actually, yeah, that little 30% tenacity can actually help you a lot in team fights. That means you can reach your opponent a lot easier, because Sin doesn't actually have any dashes. So these two are very good options. But Ninja Tabbies also works if they have a lot of assassins, because right now, oh yeah, they're called plated steel caps now. Yeah, plated steel caps are also pretty fucking good if they have a lot of assassins and shit. If you feel like you want to do even more damage, you can do that with sorcery shoes, which is also a pretty good option. I would never, ever buy mobility boots. Get that shit out of your head. You're not gonna fucking run away. That's not gonna do anything. Like, mobility boots is the worst type of boots you can buy on Singed. Even though it gives you decent amount of movement speed when you add a combat, you hitting someone, that makes the boots effectiveness disappear. So that little extra speed you get from not being hit or hitting anyone goes away. Don't buy mobility boots, because if you buy mobility boots and you hit people with that poison, you're just gonna end up looking like an idiot and being even slower than you should have been. Like, it's worth getting any other boots. This is an actual really weird fucking option here, but Berserker gives you like attack speed and movement speed. This is really good with Conquer. I am not gonna lie, even though this is a pretty BM buy on Singe and it's pretty rare, it's still kind of good, because if you're playing with a Conqueror as a rune page, you can actually get your stack a lot faster and output a lot more damage, but you won't get a lot of more. You don't get a lot of resistances basically. And then we have Ionian boots of Lucidity. I think that's how you say it. It gives you 20 ability haste and 25 movement speed. I've seen people run this on Cinch. This is pretty normal. It's not bad at all actually. But you rather want to have the boost of swiftness and Mercury Tits. It's all about personal preference. With Singed, you don't counterplay against anyone. You counter buy. That's the only reason I do this than any other thing. Like, this is the most important part with Singed right now. This part right here, being able to buy correctly, because buying wrong can cost you the game. I'm serious here. Buying wrong with Singe is something that you don't want to do, and that's the only hard thing about Singe. You don't know if you want to buy. You don't know if you're buying the right or wrong thing. That's pretty much what's stopping you from being your maximum potential, being able to buy correctly. But that goes for every character. Yeah, even though it goes for every character in the game, it's most importantly for Singed to buy correctly here. It's just, I can't stress that enough. Proxying isn't that hard. Trust me, you'll get used to it. Don't be afraid of proxying. Literally, all you need is map awareness, and you're good to go. Being able to word correctly is also important. Speaking of which, you also want to buy some trinkets. Words are pretty important, but you don't even have to buy it from the store. You just get it. This is also pretty important. Control ward. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, you buy control wards, you put them in the enemy side of the jungle, and then they can't ward it, so they don't have vision on it. That gives you, like, this is really good if you go into proxy with Singe. Placing this control ward correctly is the difference between a good and a bad Singe player. Even now, as played Singed that much, I know all my mistakes. I don't play Singed perfectly. But being able to play Singed perfectly is a guarantee win for your team. Guaranteed. This character has so much potential. It is crazy. In higher elos, they know how to, close all those gaps. But if you just play correctly, I even think you can pull it in higher elo. Even if you're like not the best Singed, if you just use your head and know what you should do, that's what the difference is between a good Singed player and a bad Singed player. It's just, yeah, that's pretty much it. You don't see a lot of defensive items on Singed anymore because you rather want to go damage for the team fight. I just think damage is so much better, man. Of course, you can buy whatever the hell you want. I also seen, surprisingly, Hextech Proto Rocket Belt is actually also an option. I don't recommend this because it's kind of a weird fucking buy, and it's not really guaranteed that you'll do good plays with it. I don't recommend it. It's not recommended, but if you want to buy, go ahead. It's also an option. I just think that the Leandris is a lot better, but this is an option. You can also buy Death Cap. Yeah, Rabadon's Death Cap. That's also a pretty good option. If you want to go more damage, Death Cap is a perfect purchase. I don't complain if you buy this. This is a really good purchase. You have any idea how much damage that shit is gonna do? No, actually. Now, you're gonna call me crazy now. Don't call me crazy, okay? I know you can use this slot, the last slot you have when you're playing a game, for another item. But I've really thought about this. I have really thought about this. And if you're feeling brave enough to try it for me, go ahead. But I'm actually gonna put it right here. I'm gonna say the collector. Actually, I feel like the collector is not that bad. Before you say anything, I know I'm sounding really crazy, and there's nothing AP about it, and it's just lethality. Just think about it for a moment. Being able to execute people when they have 5% HP with your poison is pretty fucking good. On top of that, you do still get some stats, and you're a bruiser, so it's okay if you want to go a little bit more mixed. And if you're going for like Conqueror, you can do that. This is a late game item. I am placing this here because I want to experiment with this item because it's very interesting. Of course, you can also go something else. This is the only AD item I recommend. I don't recommend this. Actually, I take it back. But I will advise you to try it at least. Magi is also a pretty good one. Should also be here. If you want to upgrade it, if you're feeling confident enough, it gives you more stacks, and you get more AP basically. It's pretty much worth it. I would say it's pretty worth it. I think you get like 100 from all 20 stacks. So that's a plus 100 plus death cap. Yeah, you can go however the fuck you want. As long as you have the Leandris, you're pretty much good to go. Just you buy the Leandris from the start. It's Grigori. You can do whatever you want, almost. And that's about it for the items, I think. Yeah, you have to be confident enough to actually being able to proxy. So usually when you go proxying, you want to go with a dark seal that gives you a little bit of health and armor. A health and AP. And then you go with a refillable potion. Yep, this is my item. You go refillable potion and a ward. Now, you go here. You don't have to be afraid. Even if you fuck this part up, you can just go back lane in and everything is fine. As long as you don't die in the beginning. Even if you do die, it's not going to do as much as you think. It depends on who you're facing. But let's say you're facing like I don't know, a Fiora or a Pantheon or whatever. They're not going to stop you from proxying. They're going to stand on the tower. But the most important part is here, knowing what side the jungler is going to start. That's the most important part. Even though, let's say you're playing against a Shyvana jungle, right? And she's She's obviously either gonna start red or blue, but mostly everyone in jungle usually starts red, unless you're, you know, higher elo. But you should already know that, right? So knowing that she will start red, you don't proxy. Instead you ward, having vision, letting your team know that she started red is huge, because you know what route she will take, and therefore your laners are pretty confident in pushing and not being able to push. They have already set up their pushing and shit. That's what they do in higher elo, but they, you know, that's if they're gonna be that smart in lower elo. But you have to still inform them. Do it anyway. If this is the case, that she starts red inside, she's gonna take the red buff. There's two options she has. She can either take the red buff, take this, you know, buff, and then go and gank you, which will lead in a 2v1 scenario, a 1v2 scenario, I mean. It will pretty much, your ghost will be fucking useless, because the slow is pretty high when you're having a red buff. Singed hates red buff because it slows him, and he doesn't have any boots that can stop the slows or anything like that early, so it's pretty dangerous. So don't proxy. Either wait like this. Ward, you already warded here, so you know when she's gonna clear it. She's gonna walk here or here. You can see it either way, and she's gonna try to gank you, right? You know this. That's why you don't push the lane. You stand here, wait until the minions to push into you, and she will completely ignore you, because you just wasted her time. But if she doesn't gank you, and she decides to actually just do her normal clear, that's when you go for the minions and push hard, just push as hard as you can. Absolutely everything you can. And you're still having a ward, if you're, you know, you're not as slow as me, you know, the ward is still there. You can see her in the map. If that's the case, and she's going for you when you're pushing, you just leave. That's it, you already pushed, it's fine. Like, the minion's gonna crash into your tower, and everything is good. You don't need TP, you don't need anything. But if you want to play with TP, that's up to you. If you feel like you can't reach or something like that. If you really want to go for those plays, you can do that. But I like to go Ignite, because it gives the enemy a lot of pressure, and the ghost is, you know, makes you faster, good in team fights, so you can like nuke someone down and flip them and ignite them, and it's gonna be hell for them, especially for the ADC. When you pushed, you go back, right? Let's say I pushed 3 waves, so if I just fucking fuck, okay, I pushed 3 waves, right? I do this, I hit the minions, you know, hard push. It doesn't even fucking matter how much he hits you. It doesn't. As long as you don't get like turret shots, you'd be fine. Alright, you know, let's say I proxied this and it's not a cannon wave. In this case, it would have never been a cannon wave. The wave would have pushed a lot faster. But here, look, you just proxy like this, and you just keep track of the map. You already know where the jungler is, because she just took her red buff, right? So she's blue side, right? And you know, it takes about, I don't know, 30-40 seconds to clear this side if you're really like smart. And then she backs, but it's also gonna take time for her to get back to red side. So you just take like 2 waves, 2 to 3 waves. 3 waves if you're confident enough and you have ghost, and you just, you know, do that shit. Boom, you're proxied. Now you go back. I actually don't recall, just like I did there. You go into the bush and you want to scare them, and then you back. Now this, when you come back, this is the most important part here. You buy a corruption potion, because you already have the dark sea, you don't need anything, so you buy sapphire crystal. But if you feel like you want to boots instead, you can do that if they're really fast. For, let's say, if they have a lot of dashes, that could be pretty annoying to deal with, so you go with boots instead. you have to feel confident, but I recommend you buying a sapphire crystal because it buys into this lost chapter, which builds into the legendaries. Basically, what you've done is like decrease the gold amount on this item, so you get this item a lot faster because it's really expensive. Now the gold you have left now, you can also buy like boots if you want. It's if you have enough gold. It's not a must. You also buy control words, and now you want to do it again. So you don't care about laning with Singe too much if you're going to Proxy, right? You want to go in Proxy again, but it's really important to know where the laners are. Sometimes the mid laner will come and gank you because you're proxying. Usually doesn't happen because people don't chase Singed, but if they do that, then you know that because you paid attention to the laners. If you see anyone missing, you should retreat immediately unless you're confident enough to beat them. So if you have ultimate, that would be fucking amazing. Level 6, you're super strong. Level 6, no one can beat you. Level 6, you get armor, you get move speed, regen, everything. You're confident, you can do anything. You just, you know, proxying this, doing your business, you know, leveling up. You get perfect CS, you don't miss anything, you do what you have to do. It's all about knowing what waves comes next too. If it's a cannon wave, should you stay, should you leave? That's literally it by playing Proxy and Singed. Knowing where the laners are, 1. 2, knowing if you will beat them, or if you're confident enough to beat them, you should go for it. 3, knowing what side she fucking started on. The start is important. The minions, knowing if there's a third wave, which means a siege minion coming or not. Shit like that, you just have to be aware of that. You just have to know if your top laner can stop you or can't stop you. Because if you're facing like a Malphite, that would be a different story, because he would just be sitting here and you will take damage from the minions because you're not going to heal fast enough, obviously, to stop the damage from Malphite. Yes, I know that early game Malphite mana cost is high, but you're still in a risk because the jungle can be anywhere. That's why you have to ward. Providing your team information and providing yourself a lot of gold by proxying is your goal. You want gold, that's it. It doesn't have to be kills. As long as you get the gold, you're good. Don't die too much, because before you could have just executed and, you know, that would be fine, but, you know, a few seasons ago that wasn't the case, because you could have died how many times you wanted to, and it wouldn't affect your, you know, bounty. You wouldn't get a bounty by killing minions, but now you do. So you have to be a little bit more careful by proxying, knowing if you can make it or not. That's literally it. Or, yeah, that should be it. As a last resort, what you can also do when you're starting to proxy a wave in the beginning, when you're just starting to proxy and you know no one can do anything about you, and they have started blue side, the jungler, you can actually execute. Literally, you walk here. If you know they're coming for you because they're not haven't started red buff. You saw it from the start. You know, you were sitting here and you were warding here. You saw nothing here because they weren't in red buff. Then you know they're started blue. You can actually just proxy, and if you think they're coming for you, just execute like this and you're good to go. That's fine, because you're not giving a lot of people gold. You're literally giving them like 50 at most. That's nothing. It's like a potion. Now, this was an old technique. I think people still use the double proxy, but it's not as safe as it used to be anymore, because they changed the bounty. So if you farm too much, you're actually gonna get a bounty. So you shouldn't usually do this if you're like fed. You should only do this if you're behind. But when you reach level 6, as soon as you reach level 6, you can just, and you know that there is no one to stop you, right? For example, let's say Elise is bot side, and you know that, and everyone in their lane. You look at every part of the map, and if you see them in the map, you can proxy. Let's say I'm full health, right, and I just received level 6. There you go. You can just do this like that. Now, if you had, for example, if you had boots of swiftness, that first tower shot would be the only tower shot you would get. Here you can just proxy, like this is fine. Like you can just do whatever the fuck you want here. It's all right. As soon as you see people in their fucking map, as the jungler, like if you know where the jungler is, and everything should be fine, right? If the jungler is behind, then you don't even have to care about the jungler because you're so ahead of him, right? So like this, you just get minions, and you just like that. The pro of double proxying is that you get a lot of XP and gold. But the con is that your mid laner doesn't get any of those XPs, so you're just stolen the XP from your mid laner. That's the negative part about Singed double proxying. So if you're a team player, you shouldn't really double proxy unless you're confident enough that you can beat everyone you see. And even then, it's not even worth it because you're just gonna get shut down and they get the gold. And dying on purpose is not gonna cut it anymore. So don't even think about doing that. You're just gonna actually just feed. Right now, it's just proxying here. This is a mini game. Like you proxy here. But here's the thing: when you take down this turret right here, it's gonna give you one, a lot of gold, and two, it's gonna make you be able to roam. Because you can actually use Predator and shit, and whatever the fuck you have for runes. But yeah, and you just do the same here with this turret. If you want to proxy this side, you just proxy like this, as long as you don't hit this turret. How I don't get hit by that turret right here, I just look at this tree. I can't go past this side, like this tree right here. That's the only part, and that's it. This is proxying. This is literally it. You have completed proxying on this side of the map. So now let's say like this, okay? You start, instead of starting on this side, the one I'm on right now, you start on the upper side of the map. And this one is actually a little bit difficult because it's way easier proxying here than you do here. But anyway, here's the thing. It's the same concept. The only thing is that you're a little bit unsafe because they added a bush here and they can cheese you here. That's a possibility, so watch out for that. But what you should do is you should come here as soon as possible. If you see someone here, you're just not gonna proxy. That's impossible. They're denying you to be able to proxy. So let's say that Elise and Pantheon are stopping you from proxying. You're like, okay, I admire that. So you go around here instead. Watch out for the mid laner. You should also know where the mid laner is, but you should ping your mid laner to assist you. And you ward here, and they can't do anything about it. Now you know if they're gonna start blue or red. If they start blue, same as always, you just, you push the 3 waves hard, and you go back, buy your item, and then go back and then proxy. That's it. That's all you have to do. Done. And even if they do get the red buff and try to gank you, it's not gonna be as effective as the red buff, because the blue buff doesn't slow you. It just gives you, what's it called? Ability haste and mana regen, right? So it's not gonna actually slow you. It's not a real threat, but it's gonna give them the level 2. So if you're like playing against an Elise, maybe it's not the smartest idea to keep going. If you want to feel safe, you can actually just go back, buy your item, and then proxy. She's already long gone. When you come back, you just proxy, push the wave as hard as you can. If you get damage, that's fine. You have corrupted anyway, so you're good, man. It's not gonna do much. If you take a lot of damage early, that's kind of bad. So try to save up your health for the actual when the minions are coming. Pantheon is not gonna do much. Obviously, he doesn't actually have a slow consistently. He just have he's just gonna poke you in lane, but you're not gonna be in the lane the way he wants you to be. So you're just gonna easily poke him out. If it's a Darius, now that's a different story because he has a slow, a pole, and a fucking heal. That's the worst thing to deal with. It's still possible to win against the Darius if you have a really good cooperation with your jungler, and he's actually helping you. Even if you're ahead sometimes, the Darius can still shut you down because he's just Darius and you're Singed. You should know your matchups a little bit. What I recommend you banning is Darius, Teemo, and Camille. Camille you can actually leave open, but it's very, very, very annoying facing against the Darius and Teemo. Teemo and Darius are the worst types to play against. Easily. You can still deal with him if you just have a shit ton of MR. You can actually tank it and actually kill Teemo sometimes because he's squishy. And I can show you later on how to play against a Teemo. It's pretty annoying, but you can actually win. It's winnable alone. It's actually doable. And let's actually go to a real game. Alright, I jumped into a ranked game with Predator and the Ghost Ignite. I am kinda ready for this. I banned Darius, in case you're wondering who I banned, but that shouldn't be a surprise by now. And we're fighting against... this is Silver, Brahms, Elo. This is not high Elo. I mean, I can probably deal with this. This isn't too difficult to deal with. And I can easily proxy against the set. Alright, so we started from this side. That's perfect. I'm gonna start with a corruption potion because I have enough AP, but I really need sustain. I feel like I want more sustain. I want 1 armor because they have 3 damage dealers, AD, and 2 AP. This should be interesting. He's gonna probably here. Even in this elo, people who stand here. It's not that weird. Oh wait, he was here. And I took a trade. That wasn't the best trade. I'd ward here instead. Just do that. He started E. That happened. I have never expected anything near like this. Oh my god. I didn't burn any sums. Oh well. Oh good, I got aggro on that minion.
It's nearly time.
He's not doing the right choice here. What? And I survived. Okay, that happened. Potentially went to the poison. Well, now I can buy this and this. So that's a plus. Even though I gave them first blood, that wasn't that good. But still, like, the recovery on this, it was fine. I had to burn Ghost, but yeah, she's here. It's alright to not go AP this time. Because he's already buffed. Okay, he's... okay. Oh, I got it. Alright, cool. I think he just dies. What? Oh, the minion didn't. Can I get a plating here? Eh. This is alright. Let me mages. It's not worth greeting for the plates, man. Good thing I didn't use Ignite. Dude, that grasp. I don't know why he or how he fucking reached me there. He actually got me there. And you can't dodge that E, man. Oh, that sucks. I like how he did so much damage without actually hitting the center part of his W. Man, I even had armor. That grasp just fucking shut me down. And he's level 7, man. That was not a good fucking play. That was certainly not a good fucking play. See, that's why you control ward this. And that's what she did. That's a pretty smart play, actually. If I actually can push, I would proxy. Okay, Vi is the side of the map. That's why he let me push. But I know she's here. That's interesting.
It's nearly time.
They're going for Herald here. Yeah, we resetted it. Is he... would I say that's worth? I wouldn't. Okay, yeah. That's 2 for 2. I guess that's fine. But we resetted Herald looks. Then I got an assist. If you can, be annoying. There you go. There you go. Got it. Nice. Good synergy. Good place. Even though I've died 3 times, still useful. And they haven't got rid of the control ward. Of 101 HP.
It's nearly time.
That's sweet. That's nice. Let's get this too. That's nice. Oh, I can't. There you go. Like that. He missed. That's why I love this boost. Because I got close to him. That actually saved me. Get him there. Okay, use flash. That's nice. Let's see here. Now I want plated steel caps because I just want armor. And now I have this. The control ward is still there. Let's buy this one this time. Oh crap. I got a turret shot, that's fine. I don't complain. And I haven't used a single potion. I have also Ignite. We good. We good. Oh. He's gonna use Herald here. I'm letting him take the gold. Bot lane is actually dominating. Just like that. Rather than not letting him have assist. I was dead anyway. Could've ran away, but I'm a man. Should we get this? I'm pretty strong right now. I can say that I'm pretty strong. So is my team. Look at this. This, like this machine right here, this build, this everything, is just flipping the right person. There. Poppy has a head because he's just been counter jungling because I have Prio here in his blue side. Okay, he has double buff. I'm not gonna fuck with him. Sometimes you could just, if they're not in lane, you could just do this. I just need 50 more gold and I'm good. You can also do this if you want. I take the big one, but I just wanted the small ones. I'm pretty strong now because of Leandris. Proxy Singe in action. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Easy peasy. 16 minutes and we're dominating like this. When you play Singe, you should think of yourself as a support, nothing more. Damn. That's fine. Jesus, so strong. Dude, this Tristana is so strong right now. My team is just being strong, even though I played Proxy. It was just because of my team. Oh my god. But I'm level 12. Like, not everyone is... Even Tristana is not level 12. Go like this. Ah. Next item. Classic. And this is why I love Predator. Even though like Ghost in the cooldown, you still have your Predator back. But they're so weak right now. Oh my god. It's not even worth using Predator on this guy. What the hell is this? Oh. 300 gold, I'll take it. Got that. That was close. Way too close. There you go, like that. Very strong right now, very, very strong right now. 200 AP and a decent amount of health. You know, perfect. This is just so good. Proxy Singed, I'm getting kills. My team is also good. The 1250 I need. Need about like 300. Destroy this. That's ridiculous. Late game they will stomp us, but right now it's meh. Plus that's quite speedy. Just BM a little bit. That was a good game. That was an example of Proxy Singed. Good on Tristana, good job Tristana. I am bronze because I left 2 games. Wow. Look at the damage. It's quite high for being 7 deaths. I can, I can actually say that this game was pretty good. I liked this game. I liked how this game went. My teammates actually did something. This is an example of a way you can play Proxy Cinch. Don't recommend using double proxy though, but if you really want to, you can try it. It doesn't hurt. Get creative with the builds. Whatever benefits you most, use it. It does just that simple. Anyway, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment if you want. I'm not doing anything so serious here. I'm just sharing my thoughts on how to play this champion when trying to proxy instead of laning. Just win, carry, like you always do. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
Shaken, not stirred.